What's up, beautiful people all around the world? Hope everybody's having an amazing weekend. We have some Flora testing to do. We've been doing all the wild heroes. I've got a wild tier list in front of me right now, which I'll show you in a minute. If you're not playing Dragonheir, download it with the link down below. Go over to Steam, download it from there, download it on your mobile device. You can jump back and forth between all those things and play the game with us. Come and join us on Discord as well. Discord is down below. You can join me over in our Discord. We got tons of people to help you out, including myself, and you can join their official Discord as well. There's tons of stuff over there to help you out and plenty of people to play with. All right. Now that I can talk, let's start doing this. So we've got to bring out Flora. I've never played Flora before. I really don't know. I know she uses enlightenment. Like, I see everybody use high enlightenment on her, and I know that that's what gets her the most damage. But when you read over her skill set, it really doesn't even look like that. That's what's so crazy about it. Wild procs activate an additional hit that does derivative damage. That's why you want that high enlightenment when after she does her ultimate. But the rest of her hits, like whenever you do a wild proc, her dragon will do an attack that can crit, that's not derivative damage. She does ultimates that can crit. She does battle skills that can crit. So I want to try a whole, I want to run her through the gambit, see what kind of damage we can get with different gear sets on her, with different artifacts on her, with different team compositions as well. That's going to play a big part with it, and see, obviously she's the hardest hitting wild person out there. She's an exclusive hero, which means she's very hard to summon. So we'll see how it all works out. Man, I was really dying there for a minute. Okay, so here's my list so far. Or we'll wait for a few more people to get here before we look over the list. Let's go ahead and start gearing her out and see what we can get an estimated idea of what kind of numbers she's going to get here, and what team's really going to do the most damage for her. Since I've already tested all the other wild heroes, I put them with so many different teams to see what could bring out the most damage potential in each of these heroes. And she's the last one I've got to do. And this guy, Rash, I do not like. I don't think he's a good... Oh, and the Flame Tongue artifact. There's a legendary artifact for wild heroes, which is complete garbage. It needs to be buffed. This is really good that we're doing this too, because we get to see the best artifacts, the best wild damage dealers, the best team comps. But we also get to see things that definitely need to be buffed in the game. Different artifacts, different heroes, different legendary heroes like this guy right here. Things that need to be brought up just a little bit so that they make sense. Like that one legendary artifact makes zero sense to use ever on any wild hero that we currently have. Now that doesn't mean that they're not going to introduce other wild heroes down the line that could wild proc more often and make this one artifact here a little bit more viable. But currently, well, I guess we are missing out on the crit rate. Okay, so it does have all the crit rate here, which we could then, that's a lot of crit. So with our gear, we've already got a 100% chance to crit. So if we use this, supplemented all that crit with additional damage, let me see my chart, see what we were getting with Flame Tongue. That's why we're dropping so much, because we're already set at a 100% chance to crit. If we did compensate for that, where's display window? Here we go. Flame Tongue in all this testing is much lower, but again, we are not switching gear. We're keeping with our 100% chance to crit rate gear. So obviously Flame Tongue, if we take that 40% additional crit rate and change that over to attack or change that over to critical damage, then Flame Tongue will go up quite a bit. Oh man, I don't want to make another gear set. I've been testing everybody with the same gear set. It could open up a lot of possibilities, for sure. Okay, here's the gear set I normally test people on. Let me go back to, what's an easy one? Felicity? Okay, Felicity's pretty standard. We don't need anything to make Felicity shine. We could put Alfie in there. We see the numbers we're getting with Alfie and Casper. Total and Erich. Okay, what? So Felicity, Alfie, and we had Casper here. Just because. So the gear we've been using to test everything on, which we're definitely going to change for Flora, but we've tested everyone on this gear, and if we go to Flame Tongue, currently already at 87% chance to crit. So if I equip this one, 127. What's her crit rate base? 15. Okay, that's pretty middle of the line. I think Total Man has 18 actually, so that's pretty good. Most rares have 10, I believe. So if I go attack, and this one's pretty nice. This will increase our attack by 526, and we're dropping. Are we dropping any? Oh, we don't have anything on. Okay, normally we'd have this piece on, and this one on. So we're at 157% chance of crit. See, that's huge. That's really big. So now if we go to attack or critical damage, let's go with attack first. Attack with attack and critical damage. What do we have? Nice critical damage, attack speed increase in here. Okay, that's nice overall increase in damage. We're still at 140. That's so much crit rate. 127 still.
Provided the white alley.
38. Okay, he'll still do 100% uptime on his ultimate. Casper, we're not worried about damage, and we're doing accuracy lead. All right. Still over capped on the crit, but we're getting a little bit more damage. Let me see what the damage is now for her on this. Yo, Midnight, what's going on? The Barracuda King is in the house. It's Bacard? Bacardi? Oh, it's Bacardi. It's not Barracuda. It's the Bacardi King. What's going on, my man? Welcome, welcome. Looking at that gear. Oh, the test server gear. Yeah, it's pretty nice, right? Especially when you have an amazing piece and you roll amazingly well on it. You wish it was on your main account. Rash and Erich with Casper. Yeah, but Rash wouldn't help out Casper. Casper needs people to do a whole bunch of wild procs when he does his ultimate, not just one wild proc. So that team wouldn't enhance anything. Rash in general is just not a good damage dealer. He's just not a good legendary. Really is not. Some boss battles. Nice, Midnight. Good to see you, man. Welcome, welcome. Bacardi, are you drinking some Bacardi right now? I remember when we used to go to the clubs way back in the day when Bacardi came out. They'd have some showgirls in the club walking around with, you know, shots of it. So when it was first introduced, way back in the day, I guess, or maybe when they came out with a new, probably not when it was probably like introduced in 1902 or something. But when they came out, I don't know, maybe it was new. When they came out with some new line of Bacardi flavors, they always had the shots. It kind of made me sick, you know what I mean? I didn't feel like it was the best. Yo, JRM, what's going on, buddy? How you doing this weekend? Captain Morgan, exactly. Captain Morgan has been a staple of my drinking since I was young. When I was really young, like when I first started drinking, probably like 18, 19, I used to like vodka and orange juice, but you can only drink so much of that. There's a name for that one, right? Isn't that called like morning something, or isn't there a name for vodka and orange juice? Anyways, I drank too much of it. I got sick on it, and then from then on, I went to Captain Morgan and Diet Coke, and I've been drinking Captain Screwdriver. Okay, I've been drinking Captain and Diet for years, but I haven't been drinking now for years. Believe it or not. We used to drink a lot, right? You wouldn't believe, if you knew me way back in the day when I used to stream for Raid Shadow Legends, you would not believe that I don't drink. And it's not really it's not like I don't drink because I don't enjoy drinking. I've just got no reason to drink. I'm one of those people that need a reason to drink. I can't just sit around the house and drink. I'm not one of those 1 beer, 2 beers a night kind of guy. Let me just pop open a beer and drink it. I'm one of those people that like to walk the strip with a festival going on, drinking, go to a party, drinking, go out to the clubs and strips and stuff like that, drink. Even daytime for some festivals, or go to Disney. Like when we went to Disney last time, I had to sneak in a whole bunch of vodka to mix with some grapefruit juice we had. So I like to drink a little bit when I'm doing something. Bacardi and caffeine-free Coke. Yeah, nice. I can't do caffeine anymore either. I haven't had caffeine in the last 8 years or so. So that'd be good for me. Do we have the uploaded Google sheet? Yeah, I can send you a link to it right here. I'll give it to you. I just wanted to see what her damage would change to, because I was dogging this flame tongue too much. The issue with the flame tongue is is that all of our people have the same amount of, we have 100% chance to crit. We're over crit capped on the same exact gear we're using for everybody. We don't need to worry about enlightenment gear or anything special until we get to Flora today. We're going to be testing her out. But all of the testing that I've done with Casper, Felicity, Erich, Alfie, Rash, Foley, Thea, Netta, Caramon, and Bronwyn all use the same exact gear. We've got this gear on right here. This gear with just attack and crit rate, attack and crit rate. We've only got a 2-piece set, attack percentage with crit rate and attack percentage with crit rate. And then the 2 pieces we were using down here on all those heroes were this piece and this piece, which is fine because those heroes don't take advantage of anything else. And we're just trying to get a baseline for each hero and what hero can do the most damage and in what situation can they do the most damage out of all those heroes we tested. And then I tested a whole bunch of different artifacts, as you can see. So right now you can, like she's, well, not with this artifact, but say we put this on her, we would use statue. And a lot of these wild people all do great damage with Mana Core statue, almost as much, if not more, than the eyeball for a lot of these wild ones. But right now she's at 117, which is good because some other heroes that we do this same gear set on have less crit rate than this. Base crit rate. So this all keeps everybody at 100% chance to crit for all the testing we're doing. But this spreadsheet is, I'll just link it right here. They admitted that the boss is bugged or overtuned? Yeah, the boss is bugged for sure. It's not. Yeah, 100%. The boss is bugged and they're working on it. The devs are working on it and they said they won't have the fix to it until, until next week. So we're hoping as quickly as possible because we don't have that many days left on our server to fight the boss. So it won't be, put it this way, it will not be good for them to make changes and then not get it to us on the test server for us to test first before it goes live. That's the same thing they did with Rook, and it was no good. They did not nerf Rook enough, you know? So I'm hoping that we get a chance at least a couple days to play this boss. Even then, I don't think it's going to be enough. They really should have done this a long time ago. They should have got the boss to us a long time ago so we could say, hey, there is an issue, and then now they could have already changed it. We could be playtesting the boss like a week ago. You know? They need to start getting this stuff to us sooner. Please don't pull another Rook. Another Rook hero? Are they going to nerf Rook? Because nerfing something, like a lot of people are saying they're going to nerf Rook for next season. Well, it sounds good for us, but this game has people entering into season 3 all the time. Like every day we got, well, I don't know about every day how they're doing their clusters of servers, but every week or so they've got people going into a new season. So there are probably people starting season, aren't there people probably starting season 3 right now? Like new week 1, week 2 on season 3, I would assume. I don't know. Is anybody in season 2 limbo right now where they're just waiting to be put on, waiting for other servers to catch up so they can be put into season 3? I just don't know how it's being managed right now. I really have no idea. Normally we would think that, new accounts are being made all the time, which they are. New servers are being opened every 3 or 4 days. And then that's season 1, they go into season 2, so it's spread out. It's spread out through, next week we have people going into season 3 as well. So they need to, like, if they're going to nerf him, they need to just do it. They need to bite the bullet and just nerf and buff things, nerf things, buff things, do it all. Work D&D anniversary event. I think, yeah, true, but they should have enough people. There should be different people working on different things, and they should have enough people to be able to work on this in-game boss. But I agree. If they had to sack this in-game boss just for all of us right now, which I would assume there can't be that many, right? There can't be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people still playing the game since day 1 that are right now at the point to where we're at. So if they wanted to scrap this whole entire boss and just get us the D&D collaboration out as quickly as possible, and a lot of other fixes they need to do. They need to overall, fix the game like they're trying to work toward. They need to do that, right? I'd prefer them to do that than work on this boss, yes. But I think it's just a numerical fix, and that's what they said. It's probably a very easy numerical fix. The boss is getting a 50% increased defense buff whenever we do a skill, battle skill, or ultimate, and it shouldn't be that. We're guessing it should be a 5% deduction in damage. That way when it stacks up to 4 stacks, that's 20% less damage it's taking. not a big deal. But right now, when it gets up to 2 stacks or over, it takes 0 damage. Yeah, 5% would be great. But right now, we do a lot of times, our whole entire team does 0 damage, and that's not good. So 5% would be fine. We've got no issue with 5%. Then everybody can do well with their teams. The teams right now that are doing 30 million with all the exclusives, obviously will do the 140 million, 200 million cap that they need to do. So it's not going to be a problem. And if it's just a numerical change like that, it should be pretty quick and easy for them to get fixed. But you know the thing with coding in these games, you make changes like that, you got to make sure that everything else is okay. Sometimes it could create other issues. So hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it's easy. They get it changed, 5%, whatever they're going to make it to, and they get it out to us, and there's no other issues that screw a whole bunch of stuff up. Spaghetti code. Yeah, you just never know. Sometimes, I mean, I've seen that a lot in the past. I don't know if I've seen it as much now, but in the past, man, you would have games talk about doing updates, and they would just change like such a small thing, and then all of a sudden they would let it go live, and then all this other stuff would be busted. It was wild. Just too wild. But I really haven't noticed that a lot with games now. So I guess they really got their coding down to where it's easy to go in there and change these stuff like that we need change, you know? Okay, so Flame Tongue isn't as bad at all that I thought it was, but only because of the gear we're running. So I'm going to have to reevaluate Flame Tongue, and I'll do that with different heroes later on today. So just keep in mind, Flame Tongue is nowhere near as bad as it's looking right here, only because we had a 100% chance to crit on everyone, and if we take away, because the Flame Tongue gives you 40 additional crit rate, that's huge. So if we took that away, gave it attack, gave it critical damage, I'm pretty sure Flame Tongue would be doing as much damage as the Scarlet Ring. Almost positive. And then on a team like Felicity over here with Alfie and Casper. No, what's a better team? Well, with Felicity with Alfie, yes, because then she's going to wild proc 3 times back-to-back on her battle skill. And every time we do a wild proc, we get that Flame Tongue buff. That's why it's going to work the best with somebody who's doing a lot of, like even this one up here with Casper, Alfie, and Felicity. That's why Flame Tongue is so strong here. I bet it'll be right up there with Scarlet Ring, for sure. Okay, so we can't dog it out. I thought Flame Tongue needed a really big buff, but it doesn't. So I figured that out today. Let's get on to Felicity. Flora, sorry. So I've never played Flora before. Do we have any Flora experts in here? Here's the thing that gets me with Flora. And I said this earlier before all you guys were in here.
Follow my lead.
Everybody uses Enlightenment with Flora. That's how we get the most damage with Flora. I got it. But it's so weird because when you read over her skills, the only thing that goes off of derivative damage is this. And this only procs once she does her ultimate for 10 seconds. Then whenever we do a wild proc, we do derivative damage. But then all of her other skills, like whenever we wild proc, this dragon is also firing off, but this isn't derivative damage. This can crit. When she does this, this can crit. 2 hits. And when she does her ultimate, the ultimate can crit. But to get enough wild procs for 10 seconds, every 20 seconds, to get enough wild procs in here during this time, it's amazing that high enlightenment is the most damage output for her. It just seems really weird. So anyways, let's do some testing. We can't use the same gear that we've used on everybody. We're going to try to use that same gear for now and change the attack to enlightenment and see what happens. First, we'll run it with the exact same gear we have on. First, we're going to run it with exactly what we've tried on everybody else with a 100% chance to crit, just to see what happens. And then we'll go and change the attack percentages to enlightenment and see what the change is. Attack, attack, critical damage, attack. So what we would change once we play her again, we're going to change this to enlightenment, change this one to enlightenment, and see what changes, and then we'll give her the gambit of all the different artifacts. How quickly can they make themselves reorganize everything from the buyout? Yeah, I don't know. That's what's taking time, right? Who knows what's going on behind the scenes with being bought out by another company? That does any kind of transaction like that takes a while. Would Jorn help with procs more? or is it not worth it? Jorn help with what kind of procs? Jorn doesn't do any wild procs. The poo monster? I don't want to fight the poo monster. No more poo monsters, please. Are they hiring or firing people? No, they're not gonna. I mean, the company that bought them out is gigantic. I don't think they definitely didn't buy them out just to absorb the company, right? To absorb it and clear it out. I don't think that would have made any sense. Do you think so? You don't buy out a company that and just, you know, liquidate a game like this if it's not doing well. They want to make it profitable. Basically, they want to come in here and make this game very, very profitable. And they've got crazy amount of money to do it, experience, and tons of other games, and just a lot of money. A lot of experience. So yes, they want to make it good. Someone sitting on the main Discord? Right. Right. Yeah. I know that's an issue, right? They got to get the game in line first before we start getting new players. Before we really start advertising, and we got Dungeons and Dragons. Every time we have a Dungeons and Dragons collaboration come out, a lot of new people join the game. What they really need to focus on is making sure that everything that's happening in season 1 carries over to all the other seasons. Yes, for sure. It's going to be really weird when you're in season 1 right now with mythical gear and all those rewards, and you go into season 2 and it's just like crickets, you know? It's vacant. There's nothing to do. There's nothing out there. You don't have mythic gear anymore. You had it in season 1. You're about to get it again in season 3 if you make it that far. So yes. But again, we're talking about a big transition going on. So we're just going to have to wait it out. Everybody just hold fast. Wait it out. We'll see what happens. Okay, Alfie's here to make sure that we get some more wild procs. And to get as many wild procs as we can during the time Felicity's doing damage. Or during the time Felicity's got her 10 seconds up. Let me bring in her.
What is this experiment about?
We could do Felicity, but she's going to be at 15 seconds. All right, we'll do Felicity. Felicity's easy. 100% chance to do this battle skill with Alfie here. Alfie's got enough skill haste to make sure he's got 100% uptime on it. We've got the accuracy lead. And now we just need to do some timing here. Now, most times I see Total Nan and Erich with Flora. Like a lot of people, I guess that's what they have. I don't know if that's like the best scenario. What is, you know what? I should be looking at what Arsalan's running with her. I think Arsalan still runs her right now on the Vortex boss. I need to go check that out. Oh, timing. That's right. So she's going to pop off at 11 seconds. But maybe not. We've got this girl doing her battle skill at 5. So at 15 seconds, she's going to do her battle skill again. "15 seconds, she should do 3 wild procs, which will make Flora's ultimate. And then she'll do her ultimate right after that too to have a chance to wild proc, and then he's going to wild proc only on his yeah we're going to have him. That's right, he's going to have 100% uptime, so it doesn't even matter doing this with him. 2020. Okay, now remember, she doesn't have any of the enlightenment gear on. It's just straight up high, 100% chance to crit. All right, she's going to do that. And now we should get 3 hits from our battle skill. There it is. Which all that derivative damage of 9,000 is quite a bit. Look at that derivative damage. Did it look like it was proccing a lot more? That's why people use it, because it seems like it's proccing way more than I thought it would.
Everything belongs to me.
It seems... So it's per hit. don't know. It looks like it's doing something. It looks like it's doing way more wild procs, more derivative damage procs than we're actually hitting it. So we're doing 3 hits on our battle skill. Check this out. Okay, she initiates it. We've got 10 seconds. So now when we wild proc, we'll get that 9,000. But here we go. We're doing 9, but that's way more than 3. You see all those 9,000s? Those were like, look at all these 9,000s. She was wild procking on her ultimate. Her ultimate hits 3 times. It should just do 1 derivative damage is what it reads like. But we're seeing just like a slew of 9,000s. I mean, that's countless 9,000s right there. I feel like all we have to do is hit this guy, this puppet, the dummy, with a wild ability. I don't know, this looks wild. And draw a new people. Hire people. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. We'll have no idea whether they're hiring or firing people, but I don't think they're doing anything of the sort. I think all I can say is that they're wanting to make the game profitable and better. So that's good. And we're seeing that, right? We're seeing that with the changes for season 1. We're seeing that with the changes for season 1 basically. Until we see other things coming up soon, we're definitely seeing it with the changes for season 1, but we definitely, we need an idea of what's going on. We need to know what their plans are, like a roadmap, right? That's all we want to know. Just give us an idea of what you're working on. Yeah, stay positive, be happy. Exactly. Listen to Alfie, man. Stay positive, be happy. I don't think it's busted. I think Flora's obviously always been this way. She's not busted, but I just find it very weird that she's functioning this way. This is why I said on paper it looked very odd to me, since I've never played Flora, that Enlightenment would be better for her than crit rate critical damage. Because I only see 1 move on her. All right, let me get this number and then we'll look over her skills. I only see that 1 move on her ultimate for 10 seconds that really would do like 1 hit of derivative damage. But it's not 1 hit. I mean, look at this. Sometimes I see, there's so many 9s flying, 9,000s, that it's pretty damn wild. All right, I'm gonna put her down here, Flora. She's currently with Alfie and Felicity. Would she pull in? That's still way more damage than everybody else. 3, 5, 2, 1, 2, 3. It's still an insane amount of damage compared to the other. Well, I wouldn't say insane. We got 3 million with Casper with Alfie and Felicity on there. With the eyeball on. So we got the same damage with Casper. And we know she can do way more than that. Especially once we slap her up with some Enlightenment. And then better Enlightenment artifact or a better attack artifact. I would think. I don't know. Maybe eyeball is going to be good for her too. Secret's on the team just for her accuracy buff, so we don't use any of these attack buffs or critical damage buffs. We get a 3-team bonus still with being fire, and then we've just got her in here for accuracy. She's not really here for any reason, but I do put them together because sometimes Alfie acts weird where he drops his cross section. Even though she's not a wild hero, he'll act weird with where he puts it, so I put her up close. Yep, that's all. That way, every time we test all these heroes, we're not worried about their aura to change, to change how much damage they're doing. All right, so she did really well with this. Again, I don't understand this. So here we go. We've got this where for 10 seconds after she does her ultimate, the target takes 170% derivative damage from wild. I think that just means wild heroes. I don't think that means a wild proc. And the reason why I say that is because see how wild is Yellow? I don't think it means wild procs. Because when we have something say rally heroes and it goes to only goes to rally heroes, that is in yellow. Who's somebody like that that says it for rally? See, this says if a hero has rally when casting it, consumes rally. Okay, that's not an example of here. This one. Recharge a rally ally with 10% ultimate energy. Now this will only go to a rally ally, not just a random ally. And see how it's in yellow compared to these are in blue as a buff? So this is just anytime, and right here, every 6 attack grants rally ally with rally, and it's in blue. See, this is yellow. So it's just, it doesn't need to be a wild proc for Flora. That's the thing. From wild. It should say, honestly, it should say from a wild hero is what that sentence should say. So does that mean we want wild heroes that do multiple attacks? Like an ultimate ability like Erich does 5 attacks during that time. So 5 attacks would equate to a lot of additional derivative damage. She does 3, I believe, right? 3 attacks here, and then she's doing... I know, it seems like she's doing a crap ton. Okay, well, we've got the numbers. We've got the numbers right now for the eyeball. We're not going to change gear. I just want to see what heroes really help out with giving her... And I think the 5-hitter ones. I think that's why we're using... Let's do it single then. Three hits. Yeah, hers was just 3 hits on her ultimate, but then we were getting 3 hits on her battle skill as well. So we were coming in with... This was activating right after she did it, so we were getting 3 hits here, and then we were getting 3 more hits, 6 hits total during the 10 seconds. And then Alfie doesn't do any additional hits except for like 1 here, and then his basic attack. But their basic attacks count too. That's why we're seeing so many. So we're seeing 3 different people do 3 basic attacks. Even if we turn... Look, even if we turn these ultimates off, that's why. I get it now. It's any damage at all that they do. So if I turn off... No, turn on his ultimate. Once she activates it, right? Look at the basic attacks too. See? All their basic attacks are proccing 9,000 as well. Is it done? Was it done that quick? I'm pretty sure it was working that way, right? But yes, multi-hit ultimates will do even better, right? 5 hits would be nice. But that would mean that Casper with anybody else who does... Casper throws like 3 daggers, right?
Attention. The show's about to begin.
He's going to activate this and then throw 3 daggers. So each of these 3 dagger hits should be 9,000 for the gear we have on right now. And if anybody does a wild check during that time, he'll throw just 1 more dagger. And he throws 5 daggers here on a battle skill. That's a lot too. It's hard to see the numbers even on slow. Yeah, it is.
Everything belongs to me.
I'm not seeing any numbers. Okay, there's some 9. Okay, 9s are flying in now once he was doing that and somebody wild proc. Really weird that we didn't see 9,000 when he did his ultimate. Wasn't it? All right, I'm going to put it on 2 times speed to see how much damage we get with this team. As opposed to the Alfie and Felicity team. So now we've got Alfie and Casper.
Everything belongs to me.
Signature act. A positive. Be
Isn't Flora increased wild proc chance? I didn't see anything on there that said that it increases a wild proc chance. Did I miss it? Alfie does. Alfie's increasing the wild proc chance by 50%.
Everything belongs to me.
The stay positive, be happy guy. The little jester. I feel like Felicity was doing a lot better, right? She was getting more hits in. Yeah, look at this damage. This damage is garbage right now. This is so weird with Casper. I don't think he's... Look, that's not doing 14,000? I mean, I should have done 9,000. Casper isn't proccing it like Felicity was.
Everything belongs to me.
You wish you could have Casper scroll back? I think he's good as long as you don't... Like, if you play him with... It looks like he's really good if you play him with Alfie and Felicity. Alfie, Felicity, Casper together seem like a really good team. Maybe. We're going to do... We'll do team comps after this. But that gives Casper the most damage. That doesn't mean that Alfie, with his little bit lower damage, is going to pull off overall big numbers. And then who do you put Witch's Remains on? Felicity? Or Casper? And then let Felicity, Casper, and Alfie shine? I don't know. I don't know if that's a good team. Total Nan, Erich, Casper do not do well. I tried that out. Because there's not enough wild procking going on, so Casper just does borderline damage, right? Like good damage, but not as good as Total Nan. Okay, this is far less. Far less. And I really don't... The thing is, I don't understand why it's far less. I mean, I kind of have an idea. Like, we get 3... That's why. We get 3 hits on the battle skill all the time. Anytime with Alfie and Felicity there, we get 3 hits on her battle skill every time, which is a lot. Then we get 3 hits on the ultimate. But Casper should be able to proc multiple hits, but he only does 1 hit on the ultimate, and then he can proc only 3 daggers, though, right? 3 daggers get thrown. If somebody does a wild check during that 10 seconds that Flora has her ultimate up. 3 daggers at the enemy upon an ally's successful wild proc. So we're just not having enough wild procs going on during Casper's ultimate. Then during 10 seconds of Flora's ultimate. I guess is the issue. If we did, I would think these 3 daggers would generate a lot of those... Not her. They should generate a lot of the derivative damage hits, but they don't seem to be doing it. All right, let's bring in Total Nan for additional hits. This will help Total Nan proc, but once Erich gets up to full, he'll always proc wild. But again, we're not worried about proc and wild. We're just worried about multi hits. We don't even need to proc wild with Flora. We just need multi hits. Now, wild procs are nice for the Drake to be able to do some additional hits. But all we need to do is just damage here. It doesn't matter what. Like these multiple, this should be 99999. There it goes. There they go. Man, that's a lot.
Everything belongs to me.
Looks like a lot. It's no Ice Blast? What do you mean? Flora is amazing. Flora does insane damage. I would love to pick up Flora. Even in this season, Flora does insane. I mean, it doesn't matter. All seasons, she does insane damage. She's great. And if these two actually provide you with the most damage, these are two of the best ones. Like, they have multi-hits for Witch's Remains. We got 5 hits over here on Total Nan. We got 5 hits on Erich. Just put Total Nan with Witch's Remains. It's a lot of 9s. Yeah. It'd be fun. Right, she is. There's so many exclusives that kind of, I don't know. There are not so many, but there are quite a few, I think, like half and half exclusives that when you get them, you're just like, thanks. I wish it was a different one. It's going to be a pain. Dark Knight, that boss is busted right now. They're fixing it. There's some numerical things they need to change on it, and they'll have that fixed to us, I hope, tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday for me. Tomorrow's Monday for them as well. I'm hoping sometime tomorrow we'll have the test server updated, and we'll be able to test out the boss, and I'll get real videos out then. I only put up a live stream of me testing out that boss. I didn't want to go into a whole, here's the boss's moves video, and the boss is broken. I guess I should have, kind of. There's a lot of people that don't know that he's being fixed, but as soon as they do that, like say they come out with it tomorrow, we'll work on teams all day streaming, and then I'll do a video dedicated on the boss's, like what the boss does, the mechanics of it, and what teams work the best. Like a real video, not a 2-hour live stream, like a 5-minute video. Oh, well, Alfie and Felicity did a little bit more damage, but we do have wild procs going on in here. So overall damage is going to change a bit with all the wild procs. Now, Erich is going to reach the state to where he wild procs all the time, so that's going to help with her little Drake in the back. Total Nan will always just only have a 30% chance to wild proc, so I guess it should be pretty solid. Like if I ran this again, I bet we'd get somewhere around the same 3.1 million. It'd be somewhere around there. Total. And Erich. Okay, what else hits a lot? Those are like the main ones. If we put in Rash, it's gonna suck. Let's just take out one of these and put in Rash and see what happens.
I can handle this alone.
Look, I don't know why, guys, but I can't stand this legendary. I've got him myself. I've tried to use him season after season, and he's just a disappointment. They really need to buff this guy. It's been pretty sad. It's been a pretty sad time for me. When you get those legendaries that just don't work well. Like their one job is to do wild, their one job is to do damage. And when you read his skills, you would think so, because he gets that added damage whenever he has these buffs on, and he's always got those buffs on because everybody's wild procking. So he's getting that increase in turn meter too, which we don't really need, honestly, the increase in turn meter, but 30% additional damage plus like what is it? We get another additional damage from doing this. No, just guaranteed. That's right. 30% additional damage plus the 20% additional damage from a wild proc, because it will guarantee a wild proc because he has these heart fires on. And then it's just, I don't know why. I don't know why the damage is so low. Very disappointing. But since he does do that increase in his ultimate, it doesn't matter. I was going to line him up to do his ultimate when Flora does her ultimate, but remember, we don't need to... All they got to do is do damage. It doesn't matter what skill it is. If he had multi-hits on that ultimate, then yeah, I'd line it up, but it's just one hit, so...
Everything belongs to me.
With Heartfire, yeah, it's a 100% chance to proc, so that's 20% additional damage. That's what Wild does. And then he gets 30% additional damage when he does Wild proc on his ultimate. So you would think 50% additional damage on an ultimate, that it would be pretty good, but man, no matter what you gear him with, no matter what you do with him, it's just not really amazing. At least he's a better damage dealer than Erich? No, he's not. He's not a better damage dealer than Erich. If you look at Erich's, well... Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, you're right. You're right. Erich is doing 1.6 million with Eyeball. He's doing 1.86. He's doing 1.7 with Statue. Erich is doing 1.6 with Statue. A little bit better. But his downfall is that he doesn't have any multi-hits. So if we need multi-hits for Flora, then he's out of the picture. If we need multi-hits for Witch's Remains and we don't have that, then he's out of the picture. If we slow down his ultimate, I think he's getting that ultimate increase over Erich as well, is because when I'm running him like this on the test, I'm running him free. I'm letting him do whatever he wants. If we wanted to line that up for the Vortex boss and say we want to make sure that he always does this when we have Witch's Remains up, then it's going to be somewhere around 19 to 20 seconds for the whole entire team. So that additional 20% ultimate that he's getting over this 3-minute fight to do more damage is going to be far less. It's going to be less. It's going to be probably be down there around Erich's numbers. We could test that out though. We could set him at every 20-second interval. That's exactly what we ran with Erich and all these other people. And we could see what he would be at without getting that 20% increase. And I only say that is because we're not going to use that 20% increase in ultimate. We don't want him just ultimating like all different times of the day, right? We don't want him missing that decreased defense. We want him in line with everybody after somebody else does their ultimate, like Total Nan, to get Witch's Remains up. And then we want him to hit so much harder because it is a hard-hitting move. With the extra down damage. How do you get rid of chat on Twitch? The chat below me? Right here? Or the side chat? Oh, you got it? You got it? How much damage did we get? Okay, same with Alfie and Casper, just because we're not having any multi-hitters in there, so we need multi-hitters. Which makes it nice. If you have Flora, then it's really easy to bring in your free, well, an epic along with the free legendary. Where's my Flora? All right, so say you got lucky and you pulled Flora and you didn't have anything. Oh, anything else fancy? No other legendaries, right? Casper's not that. Casper's okay. Yeah, Casper did really well with her. Actually, he did the most damage so far. So he was getting those additional hits. No, that was Alfie Felicity, 3.3 million. Casper was 2.5. Yeah, Casper was dog shit. I don't know why Casper sucks so bad. He needs somebody else in there to... There's too many people. We need like 4 people in there for Casper to really perform, and then Flora would fire off. Just too many individuals to have Alfie in there with Casper, with somebody else. It's too much going on. Liliwannis raises her hand. Yeah, well, I think that's summons in general, but yes, I have Liliwannis. Like, the only 2 exclusives I have are Liliwannis and Amon. So I got 2 exclusives that, you know, aren't top tier exclusives and aren't even... I guess Amon is kind of mid. Liliwannis can be great in certain situations. It just depends on what you're fighting. So, yeah. It's kind of sad, right? It's a button you couldn't see. Now you can see it? Okay. All right, so we know Erich is great, Felicity is awesome, Casper's not great, and Rash is definitely not great, so that guy sucks. But we need to go back and we'll test him out, like I said earlier, and see if his damage really is the same as Erich. Plus, Erich also has a little bit more uses, I believe, on single target with that. Yeah, I don't even know what this guy's. It's all right, it's all right. Okay, multi-hit. Single target, right? We got 3 hits right here on her ultimate. So her and Alfie. I think if you're unlucky and you don't have Total Nan, you could definitely run this group right here. Because Alfie's gonna make her hit 3 times on her ultimate. Well, she's got an 80% chance to hit 3 times. 80, 80, 80. Or 80, 80. She's gonna hit that twice. Right here. She said she got it. I got it.
Everything belongs to me. Eureka. I got it.
What happened to the rare that ups wild? What about the rare that ups wild? Come on, Netta, where she has a 60% chance to proc wild. Well, here's the thing with Flora. Flora, you don't even care about wild procs. It doesn't matter with Flora. We're testing Flora right now, but Flora does not care about the actual wild proc. Although Foley, the girl over there with the little orb in her hand, she has to wild proc to get multi-hits. All Flora cares about when she does her ultimate is you actually just doing damage as a wild hero. And that's even your basic attack. Your basic attack will proc her to do this 9,000 derivative damage. And multi-hits, like Erich's multi-hit, 5 hits from Total Nan will make her do more of this derivative damage. The white number, the white 9,000... We have to wait for her to cast her ultimate. 9,040 something? What was it? 9,032. That's why we're seeing so many of these numbers fly. So anybody with multi-hit wild person. Casper does multi-hits. Yeah, Casper does do multi-hits only if somebody else in the party does a wild proc. If other wild people do wild procs. So then, like I said, Casper would work well with Flora if we had 4 people wild team, which you're not going to. But if we bring in Alfie, if we bring in Casper, and then we bring in other people to try to wild proc after Casper does his move, it's a lot. We could try Casper with somebody else. When we tried Casper and Alfie along with Flora, it was bad damage. It was 2.5 million compared to 3.3 million, 3.1 million, and 2.5 million we're getting with other people. It was bad because there was nobody really there enough to wild proc. We would then only have 1 wild proc on a battle skill after Flora does her ultimate. A wild proc on Alfie's battle skill. And then a wild proc on Casper's battle skill. For 10, we got a 10-second window. Because we're going off of Flora's ultimate. And it just wasn't enough for Casper then to throw daggers out there. See, this was good. This was actually the highest damage dealing team. Probably because we got lucky with some wild procs, maybe? I don't know. This is weird. This team should be exactly the same, or very much the same as doing Alfie and Felicity. But Felicity's battle skill we can't control 100%. It's every 10 seconds after that first initial. So we try to line it up. It should be lined up. I don't know why this did a little bit more. I guess we got lucky with some wild procs. Did this do more than Total Nan and Erich? It did do more than Total Nan and Erich. Interesting. I'm very curious if you replace Alfie. What are you talking about? Jorn doesn't do any kind of wild procs, and he's not labeled as a wild damage dealer. So anytime Jorn attacks the target dummy, it's not going to do anything for that derivative damage. It has to be a wild hero. And on top of that, Jorn does not do any wild procs. You want to get an ultimate up increase, just in general, on a 3 team? Then who's going to be the wild hero doing damage when she has her 10-second window? No, I got that. Yeah, Jorn gives you an ultimate increase. Yeah, I got that. And increased defense. But I'm saying, like, we've only got enough room for 3 people with 2 support almost everywhere we go. Okay, but who... Let's do... Felicity would be the best. I think Felicity's solo would probably be the best multi-hit for sure. The most... We're going to get 3 hits on her battle... No, we're not always going to get 3 hits on her battle skill. We'll get 3 hits on the ultimate. Maybe, actually, Total Nan's going to be the best single target. Who has the most hits overall? 5 hits? And then how many here? 3 times. Okay, so definitely Total Nan. We got 5 hits plus 3 hits. I don't think there's anybody else that can do more hits than that. We're not worried about wild procs. Remember that. Doesn't matter wild procs. We just need a actual wild hero doing crazy amount of hits. Okay, so for sure that's going to be the most. And then we would bring in Jorn. That's going to be too far away from Total Nan. Okay, where is fire? And we're looking for
Experiment begins. You're just in time. Will you volunteer for my anti-poison
Yeah, I don't see this. I mean, we're taking away people who can who do wild damage that gets 9,000 up multiple times, and we're just trying to get her ultimate up a little bit faster. This isn't going to do more damage. We're taking away a lot of damage here. And we're just hoping for an increase whenever he burns himself right now to only get a ultimate increase by 10%. It's not worth it. Okay, so everybody around him is going to get an ultimate increase. You can't test like I can't. Yeah, but I already know it's not going to do more damage. If this is all you have, then I still wouldn't play Jorn. I would put in another damage dealer. You want all these 9,000s flying up. Now Total Nan does do 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. Battle skills going off every 10 seconds. We'll do well with Total Nan, sure. I haven't seen Jorn do his backfire on himself yet, proc it yet. There it is. Whenever we see the increased defense, we know that we got that 10% increase in ultimate gauge. There's another one. Now working in some skill haste into Flora, absolutely. Like if we could get skill haste substats on runes, if we could get a gear set that gives a little bit of skill haste as well, that actually works for us to get enough enlightenment. Skill haste on an artifact, or if there is something like that, that could work out. But at least with Jorn, you're getting decreased attack, right? If you need decreased attack sometimes. You're removing buffs, you're knocking back the ultimate gauge. Do they ever play Flora with... Oh, I'm going to log into my tablet here and see about... I'm going to see what Arslan has on his Flora. But he's got her exclusive artifact. But let's see about gear and stuff. And then I think Ivy Lee's still playing Flora. I'm not positive on that, but she might be still playing Flora. I mean, it's not bad. It's probably going to end up being what? Total Nan's just killing it, though. Total Nan's a beast. Yeah, I think the total damage isn't bad. It's under Alfie and Casper and Rash. It's not 3.5, but, you know, it's... I don't know about playing this on the Vortex boss. You could. It'd give you a little bit more defense. And decrease attack at time. But usually when you play Vortex, you have 2 support that's going to keep your team alive. A lot of times you have 3 support sometimes if you have to. And then if I was going to run 3 support to keep my team alive, then I'd definitely bring Flora and Total Nan together. I think they're going to be the best duo for the most hits. What was it? 2.5. 5, 8, 6, 1, 4. And this is with... It's with we've got Jorn and Total Nan. And Jorn. Yeah, 2.5. Same as bringing in Rash, and the same as bringing in... That's how garbage Rash is, by the way. Just because he doesn't have any multi-hits, right? And the same as bringing in Casper, which is really sad because Casper should be doing some much more multi... He should be doing multi-hits. Let's line up Casper. Let's line up Casper with... Hold on. Let's line up Casper like we would line up... I don't think we did this. Okay, we know Total Nan's the beast, right? Absolute beast.
Attention. The show's about to begin.
Okay, if he's going to do his battle skill at 15 seconds, then we need to do the same timing as this. 14, 5, and 18. Oh, we'd have Alfie in here making sure we have 100% uptime. So he's going to do his battle skill at 15 seconds. I'm just going to put this ultimate a little bit. No, we actually want his ultimate early. He's going to do it at 15 seconds. Hers is going to run from 14.5 to 24.5. We're going to get 15 seconds out of this. Okay, let's see if we get some procs. Because he does 5 hits on his battle skill. So this 5-hit battle skill should add a lot. Okay, now let's look for his 5 hits right here. Right there. I mean, it looks like a lot. I'll be honest though, something's weird with Casper. When we see Felicity hit, we just see 9999999. Like she's doing some kind of little micro hits. There was a proc of Wild when he did his ultimate. That's good. Felicity's like making it seem like she hits way more often. Okay, there we go. Casper's actually getting all his hits in. I think we did a little disgrace with him because we didn't line it up like we did with Felicity, so Casper wasn't getting all those 5 battle skill hits in. Yeah, those are a lot of 9s. Now I didn't match up Total Nan to be with. Okay. Let's back this out though. We got to line up Total Nan as well, so we'll get the most damage. Yeah, it's fine. Actually, is Total Nan going to do her battle skill right then? She will. Okay, this should be good numbers. This should be comparable numbers to either Total 9 and Erich or Alfie, Felicity, and Alfie Foley. I would hope. I would hope it's going to be higher because I swear we're getting more hits in. I don't think Casper's bad. Like I really don't. I think out of all the out of all the legendaries we have, like Erich, Rash, is that all we have? Felicity. The Casper is a very interesting and fun legendary. Like we could actually work with him. Just think next season. Next season when they come out with some new wild heroes, please, please, please. New wild heroes, new burn heroes, new radiant, new rally. If they come out with a whole slew of new heroes like that, that's what we need, right? So they come out with all these new wild heroes and we find ways to have them work together with Casper because he's so unique to do even more damage. Or with Flora. Like if they wanted to bring Flora's damage up overall, all you got to do is bring out a wild hero that does a whole bunch of hits. This new wild legendary does 10 hits on its ultimate at 90% damage each hit. And then all of a sudden, Flora becomes an even crazier monster. So it's really easy to kind of, or a new artifact comes out, you know, with all these new heroes. 2 more affinities. They just need to look, come on, let's not get crazy yet. They need to stick with what we've got. And I still swear we need to have like this would be the funnest thing, right? Like our main character, we need to have heroes that come out that can switch over to 2 different elements. I'd always hoped that the D&D collaboration heroes would do that, but I guess I'd be kind of too dirty because eventually those collaboration heroes will be gone. Like nobody can get Drist anymore, nobody can get Elminster anymore. Once they're here and they're gone, you can no longer get them. But if we introduce new heroes every season, or at least like 1 new hero every season that's lightning and fire, and they just have a really small variation in their skill change, or they could have a big variation, I don't care, and you could change it to either one, that'd be sweet. Hold on one second. Kids are crying behind me.
geschrafft.
Everything belongs to me.
Tempered blade never rests.
Stupid fake crying or something. Come on, kids. Getting an event together. How are they going to work on new damage types? We don't need new damage types. We do not need. It's done. We've got 2 good damage types per each of the elements, right? Usually it's single target and AOE. Let's get some more. We need some more so we can have some more fun making teams. What is it? Still low again. What is going on? Casper, dude. 2.7. I don't get. Casper is so good on a team with Alfie and Felicity. But then we bring him on this team, he's terrible because he's not getting a lot of wild procs when he does his ultimate. Still, with the 5 hits on his battle skill, I don't know. This is weird. He's always disappointing. Because look, if we throw Felicity in here, watch this.
Is lit.
Do we already have this team saved or is it different? It's this team. Is Total Nan and we haven't done Total Nan and Felicity yet. We did Alfie and Felicity for 3.3. Casper is good without Flora. I believe that. I do. I think he's really good without Flora. I enjoyed playing him without Flora and testing out teams with him because I thought he's pretty unique. Over here with Alfie and Felicity, we did 3.3. But don't take these numbers right here that we're doing with Flora. You can't take this damage number into consideration as far as what Flora's potential is because we need to change her gear. She's using the same gear that all these heroes used, and we didn't, like, no enlightenment. This is just to see what teams do the most damage, which we kind of should have done probably after we picked out the best gear for her. But we're just trying to see who can do the most damage right here. Every time we put in Casper, though, it just drops so much. And we even tried to time Casper to do better, and he did do better once we did like a better skill timing for him with Felicity. But Alfie with Flora, Alfie and Felicity, and then Alfie, Flora, Foley. Alfie and Foley did the most damage so far. Total Nan and Erich are great. And there's going to be all sorts of variations in this damage every time we run it because of the wild procs. So these ones that are kind of close, like 3.3, 3.5, they're probably very close. But I don't know, Casper just keeps disappointing. It's really sad. Okay, now they still battle procking after she does it. Yeah, they are. And then they're ultimating after that. Okay. I mean, everything's working to get the most hits in when Flora does her ultimate for 10 seconds. Ultimate. We got some battle skills coming up, right? There we go. Battle skill. Ultimate. Should be a battle skill right there for 3 hits. Okay. I'm still not seeing crazy damage. We're not getting 3 hits on Felicity's battle skill as much because we don't have Alfie here. And I don't think we're going to get to another... We'll get to one more ultimate right at the end here. Hurry up, hurry up. It's like we got to do one hero at a time with her and see which hero is really the best one. Oh, this is 2.7 again. or a rare that's both burn and wild. That'd be pretty cool too, right? To come out with heroes that are both of it, and they can buff. Like we say, we have a hero that can buff both of those instead of just buffing burns, like we have with the one. Damn it, with the one dwarf, Durham. I can't wait to see some new heroes, new wild heroes, new burn heroes, new electrocute heroes. I would love to see that. Because what we've had for a while now. We've had all these wild heroes are the same wild heroes we've had for many, many seasons. We need to be able to add on to this and have some fun with it. Okay, so who haven't we tried yet? Let's go over and try out some rares, actually. Not new, but rares. Now, he does do an additional hit sometimes. No, it just adds on to his basic attack. So Browen's only going to do one hit here and one hit here. So he's going to be just as bad as Rash. So it's not even going to be worth playing him. But we will.
Spoiling my lovely dream.
Is Total Nan really that good? Or should we...
You are going nowhere.
All right, I'm gonna try something really quick.
The flame is lit.
Let me see if Total Nan really is the best one with the most hits. Should be. He's only going to do 5 hits plus 1 hit. She did 5 hits plus 3 hits. Does she get an attack speed buff too? Because attack speed, if we get their attack speed higher, that'd be more attacks during that 10 seconds as well. Maybe only a few more, but still would be more. Here's really, hey, thanks so much, man. Appreciate the bits. Here's really varying as well, because with Felicity on our team and not having Alfie in here, Felicity has a 50% chance to hit 3 times. Well, she has to hit 50% chance actually 2 times to be able to hit 3 hits on that battle skill. So we could see a really RNG number at the end of this fight for Flora, depending on how many times Felicity every 10 seconds hits 1 time, 2 times, or 3 times on that battle skill. I like Alfie though. I swear Alfie's like a really fun hero. Better for me for Felicity. She's like a Dauntless Wild. It does work out best if she has high crit rate. Like whenever you look at, if you look at this spreadsheet that I'm working on right now, every time we have the horseshoe over the statue or the eyeball, as long as you have high crit rate, you'll do more damage. I think that's just the horseshoe in general, but you got to have high crit rate. Like if you went in with 40% crit rate and tried to use the horseshoe over eyeball or statue, it wouldn't work out well. RNG would get you, you won't crit. That 60% additional critical damage that you get on the horseshoe would do nothing then, you know? The additional attack speed's nice, yes, but I'm saying that like the main thing is the critical damage, right? Because that attack speed is real RNG as well. Sometimes you'll get it, sometimes you won't get it. Now we do have Thea. Thea hits 3 times on her ultimate. She hits 1 time, I think. Maybe she hits more than 1 time on her battle skill. We'll try her out as well. Yeah, Bacardi King coming in with the bits, my man. Appreciate the love and support. Maybe balance whole types. Well, we're hoping for that too, right? We need overall balancing. That we need to do balancing every couple months, right? Most games balance, I would say, every couple months. 2 months is a good indication of a healthy balancing, I feel like, for a company. I don't feel like it's that difficult to know as a corporation which heroes aren't performing well and do small tweaks to them. Every 2 months, do a slew of, here's some epics, here's some legendaries, here's some rares. You definitely have enough heroes coming out all the time to do it every 2 months. And don't do sweeping, weird changes. Just small changes. And then you can always go back and balance a hero again if you need to. They do testing, they know. This company does testing? Yeah, I guess. Okay, so either Felicity was flying off more. We got more damage here. But it's around the same. It's 2.9 to 2.8. It's so hard to test. See, this won't be a problem. Like when we go to test Ice Blast or we test any other kind of, as long as there's no variation, if we go test Dauntless and we have a 100% chance to crit with Dauntless or with Ice Blast, every time we run it, it will be the same exact number. There will be no variation. But with here, with these wild procs, it's weird. Okay, so Erich and Total Nan, I don't know who's procking and doing what. And Felicity. Okay, what do we got? I really need to get Flora. We all need to get Flora. That would be great. Yeah, we're the testers for the... We do a lot of... Or we find out a lot of things for the game. We definitely do. Like when we get a chance to play it, a lot of the content creators go in there and go really hard, and we find out some things that need help, for sure. For me, it's so weird to see a hero. Really? If you have an exclusive, that's what it's like. My team that I run with Amon, which is the Aura exclusive, whenever I do the Vortex boss, she's at 70% of the damage done because I have so much support in there. And then I've got other support. Even though they're supposed to be damage dealers, they're actually just enhancing her damage by 20% with the other legendary I have. And if you have something like Lothair, he's going to be the same way. All those exclusives usually are the ones that are doing all the damage. You're just trying to do whatever you can to get them to do even more damage. That's all you're trying to do. Whatever you can do to get them to do more damage. I feel like we've done a lot of testing with Flora and combinations of heroes. Single target, Netta. Like say we put these two in together because they're both single target.
Spoiling my lovely dream.
She's on a 16-second. I don't know if we should let Netta just kind of free roam. I mean, it's single target damage. It doesn't matter. Look how low. Her damage, Flora's damage from this team should be extremely, extremely low. It's like having two rashes on your team now. If I had to guess from all the damage types that we've done so far, I would say this is going to be at 2 million instead of 2.5, 3.1, 3.3 that we've gotten from others. This should be around the lowest. Should be. Look at how many 9,000 procs we're seeing. Like, okay, so this is weird. This is what gets me. This is what really gets me. This is what I see. This is what I see not happening with Casper, but I do see this happening with Felicity. Watch Netta when she does her ultimate, and watch how many hits they're trying to say that her Netta's ultimate, which is a single target attack, is trying to be like a multi-hit. Check this out. Look, Netta goes. It wasn't that hit. Maybe it was her battle skill. It was like a meteor came down and then you saw all these 9,000s. I think it's her battle skill.
Everything belongs to me.
Nothing I've seen Brawlwind do a lot of hits. No, it's not her ultimate. It's something else. Oh, it's the battle skill. Yeah, see the battle skill? That battle skill is proccing so many 9s from Netta. Isn't it a one-hit battle skill? It's like 5 hits. It's trying to act like it's 5 hits.
Everything belongs to me.
Oh, Bronwyn's bad here, like really bad. Here she goes. Boom. Look at all these hits. I don't get it sometimes. People have some weird. Oh, I'm on 1x speed. Sorry. Go to 2x speed here.
Everything belongs to me.
Just be hit as hard. For Rally, I feel like unless you have his artifact. Yeah, Filto's a monster, right? Compared to the exclusive, you're saying? And the exclusive's melee. So it makes it harder to play with a melee person compared to somebody that's ranged like Filto that you can set up nicely. Yeah, Rook will always be like that, right? Yeah, for sure.
Be my firewood.
Okay, so like I said, look at the damage. It's really low. And it would be even lower than this if Netta wasn't doing something sneaky with her battle skill. Although her battle skill's not really lined up for 10 seconds. I mean, it is kind of there, but something's weird with Netta's battle skill, I will say that. Let me check it when we get out.
Everything belongs to me.
I guess that's why we got to playtest all heroes. Brawn win. $2.222. 2,225,365. All right, so what does I keep hitting that wrong button? What does Netta? What's Netta's battle skill actually do? Is it a single target? Yeah. It says unleashes a fireball dealing 350% damage, but for some reason this fireball is proccing, I would say 5 times, it looks like. How weird is that? I guess it's in the coding. Okay, what we saw for him, he wasn't doing anything. So does that mean if I brought in Netta and Erich, I could get some like really good damage? He'd have to do Witch's Remains. She'd just be there for damage, and she'd be there for damage. Oh, she's on a fast. Big surprise. Well, it's just weird that it's a, you know, we can see for sure that it's a 1 damage, right? It just says this is how much damage it does. It's a 1 attack. But Meteor Storm and I don't know. I feel like look at all these. Well, that was Erich. Thing about Erich is weird too, that whenever he hits those 5 hits, it looks like way more than 5 9,000s.
Everything belongs to me.
It looks like he's getting 2 9,000s per hit or something weird. I mean, look at all that. That look like 10 9,000s instead of 5 that it should be.
Everything belongs to me.
What I really need to do is test each single hero, each single wild hero with Flora. Just Flora and that one other wild hero, and see who brings the most damage for Flora. Instead of bringing in 2 like this, I need to do it 1 at a time, which I'll do another time. Once we get out the best gear for her, then I'll do it single, 1 at a time. Which hero does the most damage for her, and then I'll bring them in as a team like we've been doing with Alfie, because I think Alfie is pretty nice to increase the wild proc rate, although that has nothing to do with Flora, right? We're not worried about proccing wild. We just need damage done. Lots of hits. Look at all those hits, man. Oh, what's our damage at? Better. I wouldn't say crazy though. 2-7. What are we gonna get? I don't even think we'll get 2-7. I mean, if all you have is Netta and Erich, though, it's not a bad option. We need to try Thea after this. Maybe see if Thea had a sneaky hit like this on her battle skill with her 3 hits on her ultimate, she would be a monster with Flora. If he didn't have anything else, she would be an absolute beast. So let's hope. She's the last one we have to test. Oh, we didn't test Caramon, but Caramon has a 1 hit on his battle skill and 1 hit on his ultimate, so he shouldn't be doing anything weird either. But we didn't try. Are we going to get 2-7? Oh, he's not going to have enough time to get all his hits in. 2-7-8. Okay, I knew it. This is a good combo. For all the damage that we've done, this is a pretty good one. For a lower level hero. Pretty impressive. Right. The spaghetti code must be tested. He's only good in arena. Hey, right now, if each of his hits do like 5 procs of her derivative damage, he'd be the best ever. She's the only one that we've seen that does something really weird. Kind of. I have a feeling, though, that Casper's being gimped for some reason for the code, and that Felicity's doing really well with the code. I don't know. Time to get serious with Caramon. Okay, I'm not worried about setting up timing. I just want to see if Caramon does any kind of hits. Any kind of special hits. So we got to look for his ultimate. We got to look for his battle skill right about now. Oh, that's really hard to tell with... Hold on. That is really hard to tell with Erich in there. Let's bring in somebody we know is trash. Oh, he won't do much.
Don't rush. Slow down.
Don't rush. Slow down. Okay. What are we going to get?
Stay positive. Be happy.
Everything belongs to me.
Okay, Caramon. I just saw 9,000 with Caramon. Battle skill? Where's his battle skill? There's his battle skill.
Stay positive. Be happy.
I didn't see anything with his battle skill because it wasn't up. 10 seconds fell off.
Everything belongs to me.
I don't think we have his battle skill timed right. I don't think it's doing anything special, huh?
Everything belongs
My nose.
Stay positive. Be
There's his battle skill. Nope, 9,000. So no good with Caramon. No special codes or no spaghetti code or anything weird going on with Caramon. So we would definitely not play him with her. Okay, last one. This is it. This is the only one we haven't played with her.
Fun.
We do have 3 hits on the ultimate, and we should have 1 hit here on the battle skill, right? Yeah, should be 1 hit. Now, if this is 5 hits, that'd be great to go with 3 hits here. Uh-oh. She's going to do her ultimate too soon. Oh, shit.
Everything belongs to me.
No battle skill even. Okay, we're not lined up for any of this stuff.
Stay positive.
Fast and furious.
Be happy.
Everything belongs to me.
Okay, I saw her do her battle skill right then. It was just one hit. And I saw 3 hits and 3 9,000. See what I'm saying about that? Like, we saw a distinct 3 hits from her with 3 9,000s.
Stay positive.
Everything belongs to me.
Be happy.
Fast and furious.
1, 2, 3. 9,000, 9,000, 9,000. Makes perfect sense. Right? But other heroes, I see something weird going on with Erich and
Stay positive.
Felicity and some other ones.
Piranha. Fast and furious. Everything belongs to me.
Stay positive.
Netta could also be a visual bug. You mean we should see a meteor storm coming down? We shouldn't just see one meteor storm? Yeah, but then it should say it hits the target 5 times for like 90% attack instead of what it says. It says it just does 1 damage number. Now, I wonder if she had a multi-hit battle skill before and they changed it, but they didn't actually change it doing multiple hits or something, you know? I don't know. All we know is none of those other ones are good. I mean, she's okay for 3 hits there. She would actually be decent. Let's put her in with Erich and see what kind of damage we get. Just so we can put her on the chart really quick. Do we need to worry about timing? 20 seconds? I think they're all at 20 seconds. She's going to go first, right? Yeah. Okay.
Fast and furious.
So many more 9s once we put Erich in there. Almost like something's weird.
Fast and furious.
Oh, she's getting an increase. Yeah, she's getting an increase here. Hold on. All right, we don't have to worry about their battle skills. There's no multi-hit battle skill here, so it doesn't really make sense to line it up. Should be fine with this. I mean, we could try to get the battle skill hit in here just to see what happens. Like we've been doing with the other teams, right? High skill haste on her? High skill haste on Flora? If it's going to make a difference? Yeah, we will.
Fast and furious.
But we do need enlightenment, though. We need enlightenment with her to do well.
Everything belongs to me.
It's not even like, it doesn't even matter how much damage our other wild people are doing as long as they're hitting often. But for Flora, we need good enlightenment, good attack, and then we need skill haste.
Everything belongs to me.
Oh, are we supposed to be looking up while that's going on? We're supposed to be looking up what we've got over here for either Ivy Lee's Flora or Arslan's Flora.
Everything
Whoever's got her up. Whoever's got her up there playing her.
fast and furious.
Netta's already fast, though. She's fast with her ultimate, but not her battle skill. Still 10 seconds on that battle skill. You're talking about skill haste on... Skill haste on all of them would be good. Skill haste on Erich would be good, too, if we could get him doing his multi-hit more often. Or Tonal Nan doing her multi-hits more often. But I was thinking Flora, right? To get her ultimate up more often. But we don't want to sacrifice too much attack and enlightenment.
Everything belongs to me. Piranha. Fast and furious.
Sorry, I didn't have the damage out. Alright, let's go look at these monsters. Let's get through all these rooks and see if we can actually see a Flora in here.
Everything belongs to me. Piranha. Fast and furious.
Yesterday, where's Arslan at? Yesterday's attacks. So many rooks.
Everything belongs to me. Piranha. Fast and furious.
Did Arslan not attack yesterday? How could he not be attacking if he's going to stay on top of the leaderboards for... Oh, there he is. He did attack. So he's got Felicity, Total Nan, and Erich. That's it, man. Felicity, Total Nan, and Erich. Looks like that's what everybody uses. With his Flora, he's got her exclusive on. He's got her in the Emperor set. When the hero has more attack, it does up to 50% more damage. He's got her with attack percentage gloves, obviously, Enlightenment chest piece, Enlightenment rune, and attack. Well, he's got her with defense on here to stay alive, and attack rune. So that's all we would do. We'd just be changing our Enlightenment on her, focusing on that. His Total Nan has Witch's Remains. Skill haste 27, skill haste 26. Skill haste about the same, so he can have them all going at probably like 19, 19.5, whatever they're all matched up to. So he's got them all around that same time. His Erich has Emperor set on as well as the pipe organ. Ranged heroes do 10% more damage. And then he's got 2 support. So if I had to guess, Erich and Total Nan are the best to go with her. But it's cool that we did testing because you never know. You never know, so I like to test it all out. We have, what's her name? Thea and Erich. 2.7. Same as Netta and Erich. Same exact. But if you don't have Total Nan, at least you know now options. You can see the damage with all the options here. All right, let's go gear her out so that we can see how she really compares to damage compared to all these. Proccing more Flora hits. What's going on? Would attack speed help? Attack speed, like I said, could help on your units. You know, if you have attack speed and they're just getting that basic attack in more often during that 10-second window, sure, attack speed could help. I wouldn't focus on it though. If you can pick it up easily without changing anything in your heroes, yeah, for sure. But you need a lot of attack speed to really affect yourself for that 10-minute window, 10-second window. 10 minutes. All right, so these two. Now, let's start working on artifacts. We're going to change her to Enlightenment.
This hunger and thirst.
This is the gear we've tried on every single wild hero. Obviously, she needs a little bit of a different, because she does based off of Enlightenment. So we've got attack percentage, which we'll keep. We've got attack here with attack percentage. We'll keep all that. And then here, we're going to go with Enlightenment and attack if we can find it. Enlightenment flat attack. Okay, this one's good. This one's got attack of 136. And then this chest piece can just be whatever we get with Enlightenment. And attack again. Do we have attack? We got a few. Wow. That's a little bit overdoing it, but we'll take that. Now, she's still got a lot of crit rate in here. What we'd look for instead of crit rate is obviously we'd come in here and we'd change this crit rate to Enlightenment. She can still crit, though. She can still crit with the Whelp whenever anybody wild procs. She can still crit with her battle skill and crit with her ultimate. But as you can see, all those 9s, that's all we're worried about is tons and tons of Enlightenment with attack. Flat attack or attack percentage. Either one. All right, now let's see what kind of damage you can do with this gear.
My hollow soul craves the mystical.
Not too different than what we had on. We're still keeping the same. This rune is the same. These 2 pieces are the same. We just went with light. This, we just changed the chest piece and we just changed this one. So we didn't change too much to really throw it off.
Everything belongs to me.
This is with Enlightenment gear, and we're using So what are we hitting for now? Instead of 9,000, it's up to 13,000. It's up to 14,000. 13,900. Quite a bit just from changing the attack percentage chest piece to enlightenment and the critical damage left side rune to enlightenment.
Everything belongs to me.
We're still keeping the eyeball on, and now we're going to start switching out all the different artifacts. See how the flame tongue does for her. See how flame tongue won't do great because it's got a lot of crit rate. But I would think Scarlet Ring would do fairly well with her. It's got a lot of attack, right? And we get a damage increase. Statue won't do well on her. And it's not passive. We can't use a Knell because that's not passive damage. That's all for ultimate.
Everything belongs to me. Everything belongs to me.
Is everybody attacking when they should be? I want to make sure we're not messing anything up. Do we need to change? We're getting a battle skill in there. It looks like sometimes. I didn't save skill timing, so they're going right after her, which is good. Boom, boom. Do we get a battle skill every once in a while, I think? Okay. I got one there. Is a little bit late. I think it's fine.
Everything belongs to me.
Okay, this is weird. Yo, Evil Fate, what's up, my man? Well, this is weird, right? We changed her to Enlightenment. We can see that we're getting 13. We went from 9,000 to 14,000 procs on this. And for this run, we're only seeing a slight increase of damage when we used total anti-airage before of 3.1 million to 3.3 million. Because her hits are going down, right? Her basic attack hits aren't critting all the time now, not as much critical damage, and the rest of it's not all hitting as much now. And we just only changed chest and left side chest. Change chest from attack percentage to enlightenment, and right side rune crit damage to enlightenment. What place am I holding down for the season? I think the same place that I came into the... It's not going to change. Whatever place you're in when you go into Otherworld, you're going to be the same exact place. I think I was in, like, as far as the most damage I could do on the Vortex Balls all throughout the season, I'm at 130, 40, somewhere around there. 117, 30, 40, somewhere around the 100s and 110 to 150. When I go in there, I climbed 150 spots. 150 spots? How low were you? Yeah, well, if I'm at 150 place and I go into the end of the season and 150 other people are doing 15 teams, then I'm not going to change at all. There's no point difference, right? I'm doing 15 teams every single day. They're doing 15 teams every single day. Now, will 150 people really be doing 15 teams every day? Probably not. I think they're going to get tired of doing that and they're going to miss a day or two, and then I'll be able to maybe gain a little bit. But yeah. So you would need 250 people doing 15 teams every single day to compete with you. And then you wouldn't change at all because once they do 22 damage and back out, that's it. There's no additional reward. There's no points to climb and gain past somebody. The only way we can actually really gain is when we fight this in-game boss for 6 days, 7 days, 8 days with our 6 teams. Those 6 teams are going to make everything. But even then, if I can do a little bit better than somebody else because I'm in the top 100, I probably will only climb a few positions, you know, in a domain a day. Yeah, nice. That, are you on the same server that I'm on? Or are you on a different server? It just depends on how active people are. But the way the point system works, if you were at 250 and 249 people ahead of you were doing 15 teams every day for 22 million, you would get no increase. Whatever you came into the other world at, you would be that same exact rank when you came to the in-game boss. Same timing. Oh, we're on a different server? Yeah. So it just depends on how active your server is, which is what everybody, all the content creators have been making videos about, saying, hey, they need to change this. They need to change it so that when we go into other world and we fight 15 teams, that the point system's different, that we can go higher than 22 million and that there's leaderboards. We have leaderboards when we do chief challenges, right? Every week there's a leaderboard to give people additional rewards for finishing first through whatever, I don't know, 1 through 300, 500, 600, 1,000. So they need to give out additional, they need to let people make teams that do higher damage than 22 million, and that there's a big leaderboard every week for it so that people can actually change ranking positions. Otherwise, we'll be exactly the same. It just depends on your roster and your motivation. They'll be exactly the same. 3.3 million. Okay, so 3.3 million, let's change it out. We're going to go with, we definitely don't want to change out to statue. That's not going to end additional passive damage. If we changed out to nail, this would only work with people doing really high wild procs all the time. So I don't think we're going to change out to nail either. If we have to work with something besides the eyeball, what would it be? Like epic wise, what would it be eyeball wise? I don't think there's anything else that's going to give us more damage. If we're getting 20% additional damage, even on that derivative damage, because it's part of her ultimate, then eyeball, oh, we could do the ink. I think this is going to drop her damage the way we have her built right now. Because I think eyeball's better. Because even eyeball's about the same on Shaltar as the ink is as well. And Shaltar can do no moves that crit hit. But when we use the eyeball on Shaltar, all of his ultimate gets that 20% additional. It's basically the same thing as this ink. But at least maybe you could put the ink on her and the eyeball on somebody else. If you don't have any other options. Horseshoe's not going to do any good because we're looking at derivative damage. We're not looking at, remember, we took away a lot of her crit and we took away her critical damage. We're not looking for crit hits. Derivative damage can't crit hit. What we're looking for are these derivative numbers right there. 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. That's all we care about. All those 13s that we just saw. A bazillions of them, and we can't crit with that, so critical damage is not going to do anything.
Everything belongs to me.
That's a lot of 13s. Teams to more than 7. Small king. What's going on? Oh, he's talking about I'm screwed because I won't have 15 teams. 3 to 5 teams that do 22 million. Yeah, but you won't be screwed because what position are you in right now? Like, where are you at for the season right now? When you go into other world, you're gonna have other people that are just in the same boat as you. 288. Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna have a whole bunch of people that are around 288 that are just like you. They're not gonna be able to make that many teams. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about it. I don't think the servers, like each server has that many active people in it. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of active people, but like hardcore active people on it, which is good. I'm not complaining about that. I think that's fantastic. I don't want everybody to be in one server and it's, you know, everybody's at rank 30 or not 30. Everybody's at rank 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. It's great the way they have the server separated, and it's great that, you know, people aren't that active on these servers. Yeah, this is a damage decrease because now we're not able to crit at all on any of our moves. And we do have a little bit of a crit rate right now. So I don't think ink is good for her. I really don't like ink on her. I still want to be able to crit. Even if our crit chance is 10%, I might as well use eyeball because I'm going to get the same benefit as the ink on my ultimate for 10 seconds on Flora. But I'll still, if I do get lucky with the crit, I can still crit. I can still crit with my basic abilities. Ink, I don't feel like is the best. Even though we almost did the same amount of damage. We did 3 million, and then on the eyeball, we did 3.3 million. Maybe if we went harder... No, it wouldn't matter. If we go harder anything, I still wouldn't use ink. Eyeball gives us options. Because the only time we're going to do derivative damage is during this attack for 10 seconds. And the eyeball covers this whole 10 seconds. I don't see any reason to use ink.
This hunger and
All right, what else we got? I don't think there's anything else epic-wise that we would use. Unless you want to get 20% additional damage all the time, and you'd have to have shields up like all the time. Enlightenment-wise, we don't really have an enlightenment offensive. Like, all we have is this for enlightenment. Let's try it out. This would give her some more survivability, and then this would do nothing with shields, though. Isn't there... There's a lower rare level enlightenment. I know there is. This one. You get additional enlightenment, accuracy, and attack. I think that's it, just the eyeball. Oh, we got this now. We got the slingshot now that we could use for a lot of attack if we have accuracy, but we don't have accuracy. This would just give her attack and then more attack since we're not really... If we look for accuracy substats and we went accuracy on the right side rune, sure. I'm just going to throw it on with this gear and see what happens. Oh, we got an accuracy lead now, though. I'll keep it out. I haven't tested this with anybody else, so we'll keep that out.
shall reveal unto you the
What was the other one I was looking at?
reality.
Oh, enlightenment. Just enlightenment in general. The tiara. I have Elmister's book on the test, but it's not gonna... There are better enlightenment artifacts, aren't there? Do we have an offensive enlightenment artifact? They should come out with one next season. If we don't. Oh. Check this out. Check this out. So we went with more enlightenment, right? But we're not getting that eyeball 20% additional damage on that ultimate. So now we're not getting 14,000. We're getting 1,177 derivative damage procs. So we already know that this is going to be way less damage. We're getting 11,760 versus the 14,000 we got. So this additional, we want that eyeball.
Very day I sense the
So it's eyeball or nothing, it looks like, as far as looking at the rares and epics. Eyeball or, you know, slingshot if you wanted to. Rare wise, I don't know what you would do rare. This? Yeah. Where's ultimate skill? It gets 15%. You would use this. You get the attack percentage plus the, if you had to use a rare. The volcanic disc. All right, what do we got for legendaries? We've got her exclusive, of course, that we'll try out. And then we've got these. Critical damage of 80%. So Scarlet Sorcerer, depending on your crit rate with your Flora, and ours is very high, and it shouldn't be. We should be looking for enlightenment substats.
The very day I sensed the god of rebirth, I handed over what remained of my life.
I feel like anybody looking at my sheet and not understanding a lot of things that we go over in the video, or that we go over in this live stream, might not understand completely because they might see this Scarlet Ring doing really well right now, or decently well for 3 minutes. Because look at our derivative. Our derivative, actually it might not. Our derivative went from 14 to 10,000. And sure, we're able to crit a little bit more. And a little bit more damage when we wild proc, I guess. Now it's up to 13 from wild procs. Do we have to wild for that? Let's see. Yeah, we have to wild proc for that, though. If we wild proc with the Scarlet Ring on, then we get the added damage, right? Yeah, we do, but we got a wild proc for that to happen. And then still it's not 14,000. It's still a little bit low.
Everything belongs to me.
So definitely less damage. I wouldn't use this on her either. We just got to go full enlightenment. Like everything enlightenment. Don't worry about crit rate. Don't worry about critical damage. Everything you put on Flora, obviously enlightenment. And then if you don't have a copy of her, what do we use on her then, right? We know the eyeball has been the greatest so far. But there's got to be something else besides the eyeball. There's got to be some other legendary artifact we can pick up to put on her besides the eyeball. We're on the last week of the Chief Challenges. I need to farm a bunch of experience this week to get my 6th team. My main concern, getting teams leveled up. Have you been farming a crazy amount of gear? And are you free to play? You're not getting all that additional stamina daily, right? So I think it's a really hard thing to judge unless you've been playing a lot. How much gear you should farm compared to how many, you know, how often you should be in there farming goblins and rank up domain. Because I have so many heroes leveled up. Like way more heroes than I need for my 15 teams leveled up to 95. Because I was just farming goblin and farming domains. I just farmed enough gear that I had gear to use. It was decent gear. And then even though I might have been missing something that I really needed or wanted, I waited to farm. And so now, once I'm in Otherworld, I can farm like crazy. Gear-wise, I'm just farming gear nonstop. Like there's nothing else to do with my stamina except farm gear. So I think we're still waiting on the 99-cent selector. Yeah, man, the next event, it's coming. This was actually more. What were we using? Ah, not much. This is the same amount as the eyeball. Scarlet ring. So we don't need to waste our resources on the Scarlet ring with her because it's all about critical damage. I keep backing out there. And then this other one's all crit rate, so we don't need to waste our resources on this crit rate one either. Crit rate and attack. But this additional damage here will be pretty nice whenever a wild proc happens. If we have a whole bunch of these stacks up by the time she does her ultimate. But this is not going to be good either. So what do you guys have besides Flint? Like what's a... We don't have a legendary artifact with attack percentage and enlightenment doing. That's what we really need. Or even flat attack and enlightenment. I don't even think we have that yet. Hey, look how low this is. Man, without her exclusive, I really don't know what we're going to throw on her. Besides eyeball. Oh, good.
Everything belongs to me.
Let me get over here so I can show you guys the damage. Yeah, you're not chasing gear for the first 2 months for sure. You just got to get gear to where you can just compete, you know? Stay a little bit competitive, but that's pretty easy to do. If you get attack percentage and then you get attack, and you get enough crit. I feel like getting enough is pretty easy to do. Pipe organ for somebody else for her, yes. Pipe organ on somebody like Erich would be great for Flora, but not on her. We'll do pipe organ just to see with all that additional attack versus the eyeball and see if it makes it worth it. But I feel like we could have the eyeball on her with 20% additional damage that we're getting, and the pipe organ on Erich, and then total nam with Witch's Remains is what I've seen. Like that's what I saw Arslan run. That's what I've seen other people run. That'd be best, right? Like even if pipe organ is good on her right now, it would still be best to have pipe organ on Erich and then 20% additional damage on her. But I mean, that's pretty nice. You got it. You have an exclusive that you don't need to worry about getting a legendary artifact for. That's pretty good. And you don't have to worry about using other legendary heroes with. You just pull Total Nan, you get Airage for free, and you're good to go. I want to pull a Flora. And got 25 bucks. The bread? Nice. You should be able to farm a lot of goblins. So same as Scarlet Ring. And this is what's this thing called? Flame Tongue? All right.
This hunger and thirst, my hollow soul craves.
There's no other one, right? Those are the only two wild artifacts they have. This is for melee. We don't need to crit. Pipe organ. There's her exclusive. This fan, oh yeah. Derivative damage based on the distance between the wearer and the enemy. Increased by 7% per tile. Damage captive. Why does anybody try this on her? Damage dealt by the wearer gains a bonus damage based on the distance between the wearer and the enemy. Up to 7% per tile. If we could get far enough away. How far away can we get in Vortex? Like three or four tiles, 3 tiles away? Electrocute. Burn. This is a newer one, but this gives us crit rate that we don't really need for her. I would think this would do really well. It's got to. Like, it's really, really got to. Yeah, the pipe organ we'll put on Airage because we get the same exact attack from this one, but we get derivative damage increase. That means I got to do a few summons really quick. That's got to do the best for her, right? There's no way that any other legendary artifact will do better. Except for her exclusive. Let's see what I get. I got Azul. I got Rook. It's pulled so many good... Just from the normal summons pull right here, I pulled so many exclusives. Maybe not today. Holdork's all we've gotten so far. Twitch. Oh gosh, here we go. Two not really great legendaries. Awesome. That would be a sad pull if I got that on my main account. Extremely. That'd be 2 legendary artifacts though. For me. For somebody else, like a new player, that would be an extremely bad pull. The one that gives all ranged bonus. It does, and it still would give her a bonus as well. But we could put it like to effectively get the most damage out of our team. You would put that on Airage, Witch's Remains on Total Nan. And then she'd be getting 10% of Airage's attack. And then you put her with the eyeball or this fan we're about to do. And she'd get even more damage. You could put her with the pipe organ. Yes. But I'm pretty sure if you've got the pipe organ, you've also got the eyeball. So you could slap the eyeball on her, pipe organ on Airage, and you'll get far more damage out of her, right? Next time you get a dupe. There's Casper again. I wouldn't mind getting Casper. Oh man, what are all these double pulls? I don't think I've gotten a double pull yet on my main account. And we've opened up a lot. I can't remember if I ever have, but I don't think I have. I'm sure we have, though. We've opened up so many dice. On my main account, I'm not talking about here on the test server. On my main, we've opened up, like every season banner, we do 300 and something. We've done a lot of summons on other banners. We've got to have had, we've got to had 2 legendaries sometime. Oh, nice. Quisitia. Oh, I'd like to pull her on my main. She'd be fun to play with. All right. We should be able to level up both of these artifacts.
Perceive my caress, and I shall reveal unto you the most magnificent reality.
Where's that fan at? But I'm pretty sure we can't get 5 tiles away on Vortex. Vortex is 4 tiles, right? So we could put her in the back like this. Yeah, we could definitely put her that far back. But that's too many. 1, 2, 3. Normally Vortex would be here, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay, and then we'll level up the pipe organ too, just to see if all you had was the pipe organ. But again, if you got pipe organ, you got eyeball, I'm sure. Yeah, it is really versatile. I think pipe organ is pretty awesome. I think I might have picked it up myself recently, and I didn't even level it up yet. Because I'm using Amon, and she's melee. And she's doing 70% of my damage on the Vortex, so it wouldn't work out for her.
Everything belongs to me.
So right now we're looking at 15. So it is more. Although, yeah, it's more than 20%, right? Because 20% would give us 14,000. This is giving us 15,000. Plus we got more attack here. Looks like we're getting 1,650 something over eyeball per proc. And that could just be all that additional attack we're getting. I don't know, we'll have to try it on the Vortex boss because I'm not really sure how many. I'm sure it's counting 4 tiles away, right? It's got to be counting the appropriate tiles away. We're definitely at max range for Vortex. But I don't feel like it's a crazy increase, is it? 1,500 every hit over what we had before? You think it's going to increase our overall damage by a large amount? I guess over a long Vortex fight it definitely would. We're getting the same kind of damage as Flame Tongue and Scarlet Ring. And Eyeball. If it doesn't break 3.3, then it's the same. Well, it did. It broke it a little bit.
Everything belongs to me.
Eyeball is 3.3 million. Scarlet Ring is 3.3 million, and the Flame Tongue is 3.4 million. And this is 3.8 million. So yeah, it's more. I don't know if I'd like go after this big time, but Queen's fan.
The very day I sensed the god of rebirth, I handed over what remained of my life. Such erudition, so enigmatic.
Badass support are game changers? They are. I love support. I actually love support more than anything in this game. On all games, even when I played Raid, like getting a support is getting that Duchess early game. Getting Martyr was the one I got early game in Raid Shadow Legends back before there was no pity system at all. You got a legendary at a 0.5% chance and you were just like, you couldn't believe it. No pity. Back in the day, Raid was like that for a long time during global launch, maybe a year or so after that. I got Marta and Bad El Khazar, which made everything simple. Those two together, so easy. And then eventually I got Duchess, and then if you get like a Siffy, that's what makes it so you can push through content. Support always does. Of course, in this game though, with these exclusives, the way they work, with a small percentage chance to be able to summon them, and how strong they are, it's, you kind of want these. Look at this. We're doing less derivative damage than the eyeball. See what I'm saying? You would not want to put Pipe Organ on her. You'd want to put it on Erich, and you'd want to put eyeball on her.
Everything belongs to me.
Emperor's Blade.
With that damage, what are we going to be looking at? 3.3, probably like the ink. 3 mil. 3 mil flat.
Everything belongs to me.
Emperor's Blade.
Erich used Total Nan, Sonarl, Ardrith, and Gillian on Vortex. So Erich and Total Nan? Midnight, what kind of damage are you getting with those? Just those two only, right? Because I've got Sonarl, Ardrith, and Acelia with Amon
Everything belongs to me.
and whatever that other legendary is, the little fairy one. Dantha or something? The one that gives 20% additional aura damage so that when my Amon attacks, she gets to hit a lot harder. 3.4? Okay, nice. Well, I mean, it's the same as all the other legendaries. Same as Flame Tongue, 3.4, 3.4 Scarlet, same as all these rest, right? And this is Pipe Organ. All right, now her exclusive artifact. Do we have enough to level that up? I think that's the only one we need to try out. Besides, you know, we've done all these, right? Yeah, the attack defense. We don't need this. It's only going to give her 60 plus 15% additional attack. I don't know what this is. Yeah, just enough. All right, here we go. This is the last thing we need to test. Then I think we can call it a day and we can do a video on this tonight. The wild tier list. We need to do tomorrow though. I want to do teams. Like we'll do a wild tier list and then I want to talk about in the video how I'm going to do Vortex boss teams. We've got all these leveled up. Let's take the knowledge we have right here, formulate teams on the Vortex boss and see who can do the most damage. And see if it conforms with what we have here. Like we're doing great damage with these 3 damage types. Can we do well in the Vortex boss, gear them all out, and then take Flora in here with Total Nan Erich, see what the highest is for that team with great gear on everyone, and then take Casper, Alfie, and Felicity in there. How well can they do? And then there was another one where we took Flora with Alfie and Foley, 2 epics. If we take Flora with these 2 epics, it looks like it should be really good damage. It looks like it should be higher than Total Nan and Erich. But it depends on who we can put Witch's Remains on and have proc enough. If Foley can do that. Alfie could have on Oregon, and then Flora can have on Eyeball, whatever we want to test all the teams with. I want to see what happens there. 55 million? 59 million? Nice. Yeah, the only reason why I'm doing 80 million is because I have an exclusive hero. You know how it is, man. When you have an exclusive in there, they just do more damage. It's nothing tricky. Hey, I got this exclusive. Here I am. More damage. RNG, that's it. Damn, look at her. Look at her exclusive artifact. Check this out. Check out how powerful her exclusive is. Now, when we did all that testing with Lothair, we went and tried out Lothair's exclusive artifact, and we tried all the other artifacts. And there's a poison artifact that does the same amount of damage as Lothair's exclusive. No matter what we did, no matter what we tested, it was... Lothair's exclusive did like 1 million more. Not much at all. So you didn't even have to get a copy of him, and you could do awesomely well with Lothair. But with Felicity, holy shit, man. This exclusive artifact is no joke. The highest damage we got with anything is around 3.3, 3.4, 3.8, 3.4. This bad boy took her to 7.7. Oh my god. 7.731. Well, I definitely want 2 copies of Felicity now. Flora. I want 2 copies of Flora right now, please. That's right. What's this thing called? The Pearl Necklace. Wow. It took me... Oh, you got all your boss battles for Otherworld done? It takes forever, doesn't it? It's been 2 hours and 17 minutes. All right. So here's what we've got. We can see that Casper looks like he's doing good damage, guys, right? It looks like Casper's pulling in 3 million with Eyeball. And 4 more with the Horseshoe because he's got really high critical, 100% chance of crit. And that's with Alfie and Felicity. So we're going to test him, this group of 3, against the Vortex boss. Everybody geared tomorrow. Felicity with Alfie, Casper, Felicity with Total and Erich. We'll try that team out at 2.2. Far behind that one, though. The best team was Total Nan, Erich, and Netta? Really? Erich and Netta with Rash? Oh, that's Erich. Okay, we didn't do a lot of variations with Total Nan, Erich. But with Erich, all we got to do is look at the other people that did the most damage, and we know to throw him with those, right? Alfie. See, Alfie pulls in 1.5 million damage on his own with the same gear as everybody else, but he's inspiring them all to wild proc more, which is only 20% more damage. Is it worth it? And it would only be worth it in the case to where when we do wild proc, it makes a difference. And that's with Casper. When Casper does his ultimate, you want a wild proc after that. You have to. Otherwise, nothing's going on. With Flora, we just need multiple hits. We don't need a wild proc at all. We just need multiple hits from Total Dan and Erich or whoever else is going to do a lot of hits. Jesus, man, that pearl necklace is totally nuts. Because Thea's doing 1.5, Alfie's doing 1.5, Netta's doing 1.3, Caramon's doing 1.4, Browen is doing 1.389, 1.4, unless you put him in with Alfie and Felicity. Bronwyn, whenever you do a wild proc, his next basic attack gets a really, really big increase on doing more damage. So if you can wild proc more often, which is Alfie, makes us all wild proc more often. Felicity, guaranteed to wild proc 3 times on her battle skill, means that Bronwyn is going to increase his damage by quite a lot. But is it worth all that just to increase him up to 1.5 with Felicity and Alfie? Probably not. Probably not worth all that. So the rares are pretty much very comparable. Thea's doing more. She's good with Witch's Remains with 3 hits on her ultimate. Netta's doing a little bit less. She's really good if you need some wild procs, and that's the rare you have with that 60% increased proc rate. And then you get to the epics where Foley is only good if you have Alfie with her. Otherwise, she does less than rare damage because it's so varied. She does that one ultimate. We've got a 30% chance to fire that ultimate again. It's a very low damage ultimate, so you actually have to fire it again to even make it compete with other people's. So she only fully does 1 million damage with Erich and Total Nan. Terrible. If you bring Alfie in there, she'll go up to 1.5, which still isn't really great. Thea can do that. And then we've got Total Nan tearing it up. Erich doing okay damage. Total Nan doing much more, of course. Felicity doing well. Casper doing well with help. Otherwise, Casper without help, without people proccing a whole bunch of wild procs when he does his ultimate for 15 seconds, we're looking at damage of 1.9 to 1.8, which is kind of still higher than Rash. That's still all right. We'll test it out. We'll do it on the test server. We'll do it on the Vortex Boss tomorrow. All right, Vortex Boss 4, we'll make all these teams and we'll tee them up and see what we can do. But man, Flora with that necklace. I tell you, if you guys can get 2 copies of Flora, you're going to be having some fun. Like really, really fun. You got 1 copy of Flora already? Oreos? Nice. Guess you want a second copy of her now? Yeah, if you get a second copy, get the artifact. Get that damn artifact. Do not waste it. It's wild. Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Appreciate everybody joining me today. Have a great weekend, the rest of your weekend. I'll be here tomorrow, and we'll make these teams and see what really does well. And I'm hoping Casper can pull in some numbers. Like, we know Flora is insane, way out there. That's cool. I don't mind that. But I'm hoping we can do something with Casper, because he's such a unique hero, to kind of blow Felicity and Erich and Total Nan away. That would be fun. Be a fun team to make. I don't have Casper on my main, though. But it's good to know these things. That way, if we do pull them, we know what teams we can make. Plus, we know what teams to make on Chief Challenges, and we know what teams to make on in-game bosses. So when we fight that octopus doo-doo monster, you guys might not know what I'm talking about because you didn't see our stream yesterday. But when you fight the in-game boss in Season 3, like we're about to fight, if we're going to use a wild team, we'll know which teams can do the most damage. So that's good for us to know. All right, guys. Take care. I will see you tomorrow.